active scene. I'm going to step out the way so you can see what's going on here. We have several law enforcement vehicles on site. Even when we were headed over to Corry Station, traffic getting bottleneck on Navy Boulevard. It's actually at office is responding to a call for active and armed disturbance. They've also received a call for shots fired at Corry Station. But that's all that we can tell you right now. ECSO says all units are responding. Escambia EMS is also on scene. PPD and FHP are also here. Lots of law enforcement with unmarked vehicles. That's all we know for now, but we will continue to keep you updated. Stay with us. We'll have more at 11.
And of course, we do have crews there on the scene. As you see, heavy law enforcement presence. This call went out. Jared, I'm going to say it was in the last hour, of course, that this initial call went out. Law enforcement immediately responding, not only military personnel, but again, as you can see, local law enforcement, state law enforcement also responding. Again, we'll continue to follow this story. We'll have much more for you coming up at the top of the hour.
Sir, we're going to try to get a mic check on you. Say your name and count to 10, please.
David Penniman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Eric Seib, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We're on 2. Looks like we're staying here, so they blocked off the whole road.
I was wondering when they were finally going to do that.
Yeah.
WEAR News at 11 starts now.
Good morning. We begin with breaking news. Again, the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, other state and local law enforcement responding to a shots fired call at Corry Station this morning.
WEA Karis Harmon is on the scene this morning and hopefully can tell us more of what's been happening. Karis.
Yeah, Sue, Jared, good morning. It is a very active scene right now. We're on Chiefs Way and Credo Drive, right near the entrance of Corry Station. You can see there's a lot of law enforcement presence out here. You can even see, take a look at this armored vehicle barreling through the gate now to try and get on the other side. What I can tell you right now, this is from the Escambia County Sheriff's Office. They received a call for an active and armed disturbance. They also received a call for shots fired at Corry Station. Now, ECSO says they are sending all of their units. All units are responding. Escambia EMS is also on scene. We've seen at least 3 ambulances come through here. PPD, FHP, there's several unmarked vehicles, several ambulances, like I said, on scene. And outside of the base near Navy Boulevard, traffic has come to a standstill. Helicopters, we're looking up in the sky now, we can see they're flying over Corry Station, so they are responding as well. We have some officers out here out front that are redirecting traffic for people that are coming this way. So for the motorists, do not come down this way. There is a lot of police activity down here and also lots of onlookers. And there's an apartment complex to our right where people have come out. They're recording on their phone, trying to figure out what's going on. We hope to give you some more information as we get it. But for now, we're in Escambia County. Karis Harmon, WEAR News.
And as well as that large law enforcement presence that you see there, we, of course, have a large residential area surrounding that base. And our Brent Carney is there with one of the neighbors who, of course, is seeing all of this unfold this morning.
Yeah, Sue, we're actually just a few hundred yards from where Karis is, just outside the front gate. And yeah, this is a very residential neighborhood. And at the moment, just a few seconds ago, the sheriff's office has completely shut this area down. The road is now blocked into the main gate at Corry Station. And there is just several people, including some sailors that were trying to get on base. And I believe that is a life flight helicopter that is circling Corry Station right now, where everything is taking place. Now, again, there's a lot of attention surrounding this incident. And joining me now is Trey Powell. You live just outside the gate. Kind of walk me through what you saw.
Oh man, I just started like half hour or so ago more, and I mean just an absolute flood of cops. I've never seen as many cops in Pensacola. I mean everything you could think of, undercovers, highway patrol. I mean, like you said, I've never seen this street shut down. I mean, I've never seen this much police presence in Pensacola. This is kind of scary. I don't really, I wonder what's going on in there.
Yeah. All right, and so we're, of course, we still don't know very many answers in terms of what is going on right now. I mean, there's a lot of neighbors and people out here that are wanting more answers, and of course, we're going to be continuing to follow this story as it develops throughout the day. Sue, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, let's get back to Karis Harmon, who is at the front entrance of Corry Station. Hopefully she has a bit more information for us. So what's been going on? We know about the police presence, a lot of police, all the agencies there.
Thanks, man.
But exactly what has happened, we don't know yet.
Right, and I first got a text on this morning. It was a little after 10 o'clock from the wife of an employee there at Naval Air Station, Pensacola, who was seeing something unfold, military presence there, hurriedly leaving the main base, headed over to Corry with reports of these shots fired and indications that perhaps someone had been shot. Now, again, there has been no confirmation of that whatsoever, no confirmation of that, but this is the information that was starting to unfold from the main base, and again, law enforcement heading that way. The sheriff was scheduled to have a meeting this morning, a press conference. This was at 10:30. That was canceled, and he immediately headed to the base as you would expect. Again, this is reminiscent of what we saw back in December several years ago, and you can just imagine the thoughts that were going through their mind as everyone, all law enforcement, heading to that base to see what was going on. Again, we've got our Karis Harmon standing by with the latest information there from Corry Station this morning.
Yeah, we talked about the law enforcement that's out here. Take a look. You can see, looks like some sheriff's deputy vehicles are leaving from this area, but still a lot on scene. When we were coming over here, it was difficult for our news car to get to the entrance of Corry Station just because of all of the traffic and lots of, law enforcement, like I said, speeding down the road to get to be over here at this area and to respond. The sheriff's office tells me all units have responded to this area. I've seen at least 2 helicopters fly over since you last blast came to us. Several emergency vehicles and lots of onlookers too. Like I said, people really just coming out here trying to figure out what's going on like us. But the good news is that law enforcement is here. Several different agencies working to keep everyone safe and figure out what's going on. Again, we're waiting to hear from more information from the sheriff's office, and we will bring it to you as we get it, guys.
Hopefully, as the morning progresses here, we will find out more from the various agencies involved in this effort, exactly what has happened and what's going on.
All right, and again, I'm Brent Carney there in the neighborhood that is right there adjacent to Corry Station. Again, neighbors obviously concerned seeing this heavy presence of law enforcement coming into their area, and now, as you mentioned, part of their area and the neighborhood blocked off.
Yeah, Sue, this entire area is shut down. I'm actually have my cameraman kind of spin around over here. We got our first ambulance appears to be coming into Corry Station right now. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty into what is going on, but neighbors that I spoke with say that this is obviously something big. They have not seen a police presence like this for years approach onto a military base like this. There's Florida Highway Patrol here. You've got Pensacola police even responding here as well, offering their assistance, and as well as, like Karis mentioned, there was even an air unit that was circling over the base. Again, there is just a lot of questions surrounding what is going on around here. In terms of just the sheer amount of presence, law enforcement presence here. Now, as you can see, there are some law enforcement vehicles that do appear to be coming out of Corry Station right now. Again, this entire neighborhood is still shut down. They have police have the roads blocked off. Let me see what road this is on, just so I could give people Chief's Way. So yes, Chief's Way going into the base is completely blocked off. And as you can see, here comes another ambulance. So again, there's just a lot of residents that are awfully concerned. I'm going to send it back to you, you guys.
We have on the phone Steve Nodine, who is apparently at the VA, and this all occurred this morning. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Steve, tell me what happened this morning.
Well, obviously, a huge incident, active shooter incident at Corry Field. Going to get my medical care. I take a side road to get to our VA care station there in Pensacola, and it must have been 150 police vehicles, probably 12 ambulances that were rushing to the back gate of Corry Station. We call it Corry Field. And obviously, deep concerns over the last terrorist incident that we had at Naval Air Station years ago, and just pray for our military and all involved that are going through this right now. I do have a friend that I just got a text from that said they had a friend of theirs hiding in a closet somewhere in Corry Station. I hope that has been resolved, but it's obviously a very active incident that it's going on right now, and just pray for all of our military and who are involved in this incident.
Did you hear anything or see anything before the police presence?
I did not. It was obvious that I had, and all I saw was a massive amount of emergency vehicles and law enforcement vehicles, SWAT teams that were rushing to the incident.
All right, Steve, thank you very much for your time. Stay safe, and we'll perhaps talk a little bit later about what you're seeing.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you again, Steve. And we're going to go back now to Karis Harmon, who is there at the front gate of Corry Station.
Yeah, guys, so we're seeing some more vehicles coming and going through this area, and you just heard from the gentleman over the phone, there is a lot of concern about what's going on. We even just not even 20 minutes ago, when we were speaking to some of the people that were driving past, they were asking us, you know, what's going on? All I could tell them was that there was a call for an active and armed disturbance, also calls for shots fired at Corry Station, and they said, you know what, this is a really scary situation, and they are offering their prayers to everyone that is on the base right now and in the surrounding area. People just really wanting everyone to stay safe and praying for the law enforcement that are out here working this. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
She'll effort to find out more of what's going on. What we do know, of course, is a heavy police presence, not just police, but every enforcement agency in the area there. Heard initial call of shots fired, but we don't know no more beyond that, other than a lot of people have responded.
And again, the sheriff has told us before how the law enforcement agencies, they practice and they drill for incidents like this. When we talk about incident, that fateful December, when we did have that terrorist shooting on the base, again, how quickly law enforcement responded and worked in coordination with each other to keep that incident, as tragic as it was, from being any worse than it was. Since then, they have continued to train and to coordinate and to be able to respond to situations just like this. And we're watching those vehicles, the comings and goings, how quickly the EOC and how quickly the ambulances have gotten there. The helicopters we've been able to hear, and it sounds like more than one. You can hear them spinning. The coordinated effort that it takes to respond to something like this, and it'll be interesting as we hear later from perhaps the sheriff and the other who are involved in this. You know, this does not happen and doesn't spin on a dime. This is a coordinated effort in again securing these bases and securing the community around these bases, and to be able to respond to incidents like this. And again, you know, thoughts and prayers. You know, we hear that so many times, but you heard Steve Nodan talk about, you know, what we're hoping that things are that are well under control and in hand here in this situation.
And as always, we certainly hope and think that these kind of things won't happen here again. But again, being prepared for them is key.
Exactly. We're going to go back now to Brent Carney, who is there in a neighborhood that is very close, as a matter of fact, adjacent to Corry Station.
Jared, Sue, I actually pulled aside one of the deputies that was blocking one of the road. I want to identify him, but he did say they don't even some of the deputies don't exactly know what was going on, mainly the ones that are stationed out here. There's a lot, he says there's a lot of radio traffic regarding this situation, and they only know what we know. Shots fired reported on Corry Station, but he did say that they were told to get here as fast as they possibly could. Every unit that was in the area, and I mean, you saw that with just the amount of law enforcement that was coming into this front gate. There are several troopers, state law enforcement and local PD as well as the sheriff's office, that are continuing to come and go from the base right now. Some of them have their lights on, some of them don't. They are directing traffic as well. I think Karis mentioned that just a few minutes ago around the base. But again, we are here on Chiefs Way, which is still blocked off by a police cruiser. They're not letting anyone in except for law enforcement vehicles as well. But again, the crowd here in terms of neighbors is growing. There's people that are parking their cars outside, walking here. There's a sailor that was trying to get into the base, and he told me that he was texting one of his friends to see if they knew that were on base, to see if they knew what was going on, and they didn't know what was going on as well. So there's just a lot of uncertainty in terms of what's going on. Back to you.
But that's very true in these kind of instances, with social media being what it is. There's a lot swirling around about what may or might have happened.
All right, but we're strictly going off of what is coming officially from Naval Air Station Pensacola. And again, right now, Captain Chandran reporting, our concern is always the safety and welfare of our service members and their families. The NAS Pensacola and Corry Station areas of operations are closed. More information will be posted to the Air Station social media sites as it becomes available. Now, that is the official word coming directly from Naval Air Station and the command there. And as Jared was mentioning, you want to caution and be careful of so much information that does start to circulate out there. But if it is not officially from the base, we would, ask you to just, be careful about what does go on out there and what may be posted, because you want to make sure that it is official.
Absolutely. Karis Harmon remaining at the gate of Corry Station this morning. Karis, have we found something new?
Nothing new, guys, but I actually have seen, for the first time drive through here, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. It looks like the state is involved as well, and we were talking about the road closures. We're on the corner of Chiefs Way and Prieto Drive. If you turn this way, Mac, point the camera to our right over here. There's a long line of cars of people, that maybe tried to come down this road, but were stopped by this PD vehicle that is closing off traffic. Even on Navy Boulevard, looks like traffic was at a standstill. Lots of neighbors and people in the apartment complex to the right of or to the left, excuse me, of Corry Station, trying to figure out, like us, what is going on. But again, that we knew that police got here very quickly. I mean, they drove past our news car at high rates of speed trying to get here and respond so they can figure out what's going on and make sure everyone on the inside is safe. And we're working to get some more information for you guys, but right now, again, all we can tell you is that the report for shots fired at Corry Station and the call for an active armed disturbance, all units, looks like for just about every law enforcement agency in our area, have responded to this, guys.
Clearly, it is an active situation in terms of the investigation and what's going on. So it's going to be very difficult, at least early on, to find out any reliable information. We will get it eventually from the various organizations.
Certainly that will be forthcoming, and of course the sheriff is usually the first to be out there and trying to do a debrief, knowing that the public is wanting information. You have civilian employees, and certainly you no doubt have the spouses, family members of those personnel who are stationed on the base who are no doubt, I would imagine, anxious about what is going on and wanting to know what is happening there when you get into these lockdown situations. So, there's a vested interest in wanting to make sure that the public is aware and made, given all the information as early as possible as well. But again, they want to make sure that they have solid information to be able to pass along as well, too.
Again, there's a lot of information, quotes, I think, floating around on various social media platforms, so it's really difficult to understand what might be real or not real, rumor, innuendo, speculation, a lot of that going on. We are going to find out exactly what happened, and we will, as soon as we possibly can.
All right, we've got our Sarah Gale who is here. Sarah, do you have some information to share with us?
Not a whole lot, just a little more specifics about what our local law enforcement has sent to the situation. We know 4 ambulances, a public safety and emergency management director are there, as well as a helicopter. So far, we have no word that anybody has been transferred or anything like that, but we are staying updated on it. Y'all, back to you.
Okay, Sarah Gale updating us there a little bit with what's going on with the Sheriff's Office and the response that they've had, the massive response at Corry Station, not only from the Sheriff's Department, Pensacola Police, obviously the police force on the base, Florida Highway Patrol as there as well. The call came out about 10 o'clock this morning, shots fired, kind of an active situation. Again, we don't know exactly what's been happening. We have a lot of speculation and rumor. We're efforting to find out exactly. We have people on the scene, Corry Harmon at the gate, Brent Carney is in a neighborhood right next to Corry Station, trying to find out what people know in those areas. It'll be a little bit of time, I think, before we get an official word, unless we have something coming in now.
Nothing that is official at this point. We were talking about the number of ambulances, and we had that one number given, but as you see those numbers going in, again, we did hear the dispatch of helicopters there, and they're going to put as many resources and have them at the ready. Not that those would necessarily be needed, but again, they're going to make preparations to be ready for any eventuality that might be there. You see the number of law enforcement. We've seen a number of units that have been leaving. We've got other units that are going in. Don't know what that's all about, but again, they've had their training. They know what they need to be prepared for.
And again, as time goes on, we'll find out exactly what happened as reports from official sources come in to Channel 3 News, WEAR. But until then, we're trying to find out exactly what we know from the neighbors, what they saw, what they heard. Brent Carney in a neighborhood next to Corry Station. Do we have some more information?
Yeah, I spoke to, just a few seconds ago, I spoke to that sailor who's parked out here, kind of waiting for direction in terms of what he needs to do, because he was supposed to get on base this morning. He told me he's been texting a bunch of his friends that are actually on Corry Station right now. They didn't really say much in terms of what's going on. Apparently they were away from where everything was going on, or wherever law enforcement was going. But they, Karis, I believe, has some different information right now where I'm being told to toss to her. We're going to go to her.
Yeah, here's the Escambia County Sheriff Chip Simmons. Sheriff, what's going on?
Well, I can tell you about an hour ago, we got a call that there was potentially an active shooter. A caller reported hearing three gunshots in a building here in Corry Station. Obviously, we were treating it as an active shooter. Escambia County Sheriff's Office, military police, Pensacola Police Department, we all arrived. And I can tell you right now, we have done a sweep of the building, the entire building, and we show no signs of a shooter. We have 0 injuries, but we are double checking and we're clearing the building once again.
And how long do you anticipate that your officer will be here today?
We'll probably be here for another 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Again, we want to make sure. We have gone through it, the entire building one time, but there is no evidence of any type of active shooter. But again, an abundance of caution, we want to make sure that we clear the entire building, closets, hallways, everything.
You can see there are a lot of people out here from the community that are showing concern. Is there any threat to the community?
Well, again, it was not completely. We are still checking it. We still have the building secured. But at this point, we do not have reason to believe there's an active shooter, and we'll be here about another hour.
Sure, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, there you have.
All right, that certainly sounds like good news. You heard Sheriff Chip Simmons saying they had the call of the reports of an active shooter, reports of 3, what they felt, gunshots. They went, they swept the building, found no signs of an active shooter. They have swept the building, they've gone through it, they're going to go through again. He feels like they'll be there probably another 45 minutes to an hour, he's saying, but at this point, no signs of an active shooter.
That is a little bit of a sigh of relief for
That's
everybody.
a big sigh of relief, but again, they are still going to go through and do some other measures to make sure that there is an all clear. But that is the word from Sheriff Chip Simmons at this point. There was a call for an active shooter. They have gone through that building, found no indications of an active shooter, and they will be on scene for about another hour, he anticipates, but at this point, no signs of an active shooter at Corry Station, per Sheriff Chip Simmons.
And we will no doubt find out more about exactly what prompted that phone call, exactly as time goes on and the investigation continues. But again, good news from Escambia County Sheriff Chip Simmons. That's great news. We will continue, of course, to find out more of what happened as time goes on. We'll talk to more people. We'll get more people in line, not only the sheriff again, perhaps, but other law enforcement officials as to what may have happened. But I think we're all really, everyone's very happy that apparently everything's all clear. But what instigated this whole thing that got this amazing response? And I guess if we remember a few years ago in December, when that terrorist attack happened, everybody was probably, we're all going to stop this.
Right. Sarah Gale?
Yes, guys. I mean, like you said, just so heavy law enforcement coming in, ambulances, like we said. Hopefully it doesn't look like maybe it's needed, the helicopters, anything like that, since it's no longer an active, or Sheriff Simmons says it's not an active shooter situation as of right now. Again, they're making sure they're still clearing the areas. We are answering the phones here in the studio, making sure, getting every information from our viewers as well. A lot of it is, again, much the same, just the heavy law enforcement presence that they've seen. They're asking questions, and we're trying to answer them as quickly as possible, and that's what we're doing here and what Sheriff Chip Simmons just did as well.
All right, let's go back to Karis Harmon at the front gate.
Guys, we are breathing a sigh of relief out here. You just heard the sheriff say that there was no signs of an active shooter, but the scene here is still pretty active. He said that his office will probably be out here for the next hour or so. They're still continuing to survey, check all the boxes to make sure that everyone is safe. He said that they did a full sweep and they will continue to do so. But the good news is there's no active shooter scenario. They were called this morning to respond. An active armed disturbance. Also received a call for shots fired at Corry Station, but we just heard from the sheriff that there was nothing like that going on. He said that no one was injured, which also is a good thing, because a lot of people had those concerns that, obviously when you hear about an active shooter, you hear about shots fired, that is what you would immediately jump to. The good thing is that has not gone on today. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Brent, I would imagine that there will be a sigh of relief there at that neighborhood as well right now.
A big sigh of relief. I just kind of informed the people, the group that has gathered over here, and I think the common term is thank God that we're hearing that no one was hurt. But there's still a lot of questions in terms of, what drew this large police presence. Obviously, if they hear shots fired on this base, given the area's history, that does draw a massive response. But again, the people here, especially the sailor that I spoke to, are just sighing a big sigh of relief right now. Thankfully, there's a lot of activity law enforcement activity now leaving the area and leaving the front gate. Yes, just everyone's pretty happy to hear that no one was hurt. Back to you.
Thank you, Brent. We'll talk more as the morning progresses. On the phone with us now is Shelley Mulaski. Shelley, tell me where you were when this all started.
We were at the main entrance front gate about 10:15 this morning trying to get into base, and all of a sudden they locked it down. No cars were moving. And about 4 minutes after that, several vehicles were leaving the base running lights and sirens as fast as they could, and it started 12, 13, 14, 15 vehicles. Then, about 4 minutes later, Escambia County Sheriff's vehicles were coming into the base, trying to get in, realized it wasn't happening at that main gate we were at, and they turned around as well and left. It all took about 12 minutes, maybe. And then finally, you overheard some of the officers at the gate, the radios. You heard 3 or 4 shots fired, and then nothing. And then finally, they started turning us around and confirming there was an active shooter and that none of us would be getting on base. So they just turned all the cars away.
All right, Shelley, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Sure.
But again, at this point, Sheriff Chip Simmons saying that they too had gotten that call, that there was perhaps an active shooter, that there had been reports of 3 shots fired in a building there at Corry Station. That heavy law enforcement presence swept onto the base. They secured that building, went in, did a sweep, found no evidence of shots being fired, and have given the all clear for now, but they are going back through, double checking, triple checking, whatever it is they need to do. But at this point, all indications are that there were no shots fired. Sheriff had said about, 4 or 5 minutes ago now, that it would be another hour that they would be there and have that presence on the base, just making double sure that there were no shots fired, and that they would certainly give another update. But it does not appear that there were any shots fired, and that, at least for right now, everyone breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. No shots fired there at Corry Station. That is the initial report from the sheriff. And we will find out more of exactly what happened and a debrief on the response and more later on Channel 3 editions of news starting at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
say what was happening? Hey, Sheriff. Drop me a 10. I hadn't heard from him. I'm getting a few shots here at the gate. I can meet you after lunch. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Thanks. Appreciate it, Sheriff. About to come all the way from Alabama.
by for further information.
So where you stand now? I mean, was that friend you spoke with already on that? So were they pretty concerned? Were you concerned for your friend's safety? So what's going through your mind there? I mean, there's a lot of, we have all those questions, and knowing the history of some things that have happened.
Lockdown. Lockdown.
Come on. down and you would see him. Visualize that on that. And this was like, he was I mean, no, you're 100% back, right? You have that thing to do it. This is the guy who's right next to the bed in the gym. Right. So we can look up at some of these. You can happen to see this guy. Exactly. That's oh, right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's what you like projected at on this. And then the song stuff in the middle. With the aquarium goldfish in it, that was like I like the inner city games. Inner city games.
Okay, ready? Okay, you ready? Okay. If you've been with us for the last hour or so, I'm Karis Herman from Channel 3 News reporting and monitoring what's going on out here at Corry Station. The Sheriff's Office releasing this on Facebook just a couple of minutes ago. They said it's an update on an active shooter investigation. At approximately 10:15 a.m., the Escambia County Sheriff's Office received a call about a potential active shooter on board Corry Station. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office, Pensacola Police Department, and Navy Police responded. The building was cleared, and there are currently no signs of any victims and no signs of a shooter. There were 2 reports of 3 gunshots being heard, and the Sheriff's Office says they have no evidence of that. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office, as you can see, still here on scene, will be aboard Corry Station for the next 45 minutes, and we'll continue to monitor the situation. Tune in to WEAR News tonight at 4, 5, and 6. We will bring you all of the updates.